What's up, Dirt Trax Nation? I'm Vern and this is Maria Rowland, Team Project Manager for the Talon.
Yep. And
we're coming to you from Jay, Oklahoma, and we're going to give you a detailed walk around on the brand new Honda Talon 1000R 4-seater. So Maria, one thing I think we need to let everyone know is that not only do you lead the sort of the project team with regards to the Talon, but your husband also works for Honda and he's in the development team. And then when you guys aren't working 5 days a week at Honda, working on the Talon, during the weekend you're out with your two girls and you're riding the Talon as well. So
yeah,
I figure that there's no better person to sort of walk us through the Talon than someone that literally eats, breathes, and sleeps the Talon.
Yep, Talon's become kind of what we do as a family, so.
That's cool. And you have two girls?
We have two girls, 7 and 10, and they love it. It's like they beg us to take them out on the weekends, so
nice.
It's nice.
There's no better way than to sort of enjoy family time than in the power sport market.
Yep.
Cool. So why don't we get to the vehicle and all that stuff? We'll maybe start with power and drivetrain.
Okay.
So the heart of the Talon is the 999 twin cylinder engine. And this has been in the platform since its inception, but it's also shared among some other platforms as well. That's with the Pioneer, the African Twin. Is there some other vehicles as well that's using the 999?
It's also the Rebel. It's kind of been used across our entire lineup. For side-by-side side, it started with the Pioneer 1000. We took our time and adapted everything because we knew we wanted to make a sport side-by-side as well. So it's a really robust engine, really robust setup. It's something you can know you're going to be out all day and you're going to be able to hit the trails hard, drive aggressive, and you're not going to have any issues. You're not going to have to be wrenching on your vehicle, come home.
And it's those proven designs that there's a hallmark for Honda.
I mean, honestly, like, although the engine exclusively is focused on kind of the Africa Twin and the Pioneer 1000 and the Talon 1000, we also use similar technologies. We use similar technologies throughout all of our vehicles. So really, aspects of this design have been proven all throughout Honda history. Even dating back to like our dirt bikes and our two-wheel stuff. We're taking stuff we learned from that, and that same stuff is packaged into this engine.
Cool. And this has the well-renowned Unicam design, which is essentially sort of takes the benefits of a single overhead cam design packaging, but with the performance advantages of a dual overhead cam. Yeah,
so we're trying to give you kind of like the best of everything with this option.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously, the other thing that is a hallmark towards the Talon and Honda as well is your dual clutch technology, commonly referred to as DCT.
Yes.
So give us a little bit of a refresher in terms of DCT and some of the advantages with regards to DCT.
Yeah, some of the advantages to that is just it's a completely enclosed sealed system. So when you're out there, you should be able to kind of hit whatever you want to. You shouldn't have to be messing with it. You kind of get instant response since we are doing everything shaft and gear. You don't have to worry about slippage. It's really robust. We really have taken a lot of time. We've taken a lot of market feedback to make this system as strong as possible so that you'll have no issues when you're out riding.
Yeah, and that's some of the real advantages that someone gets is that gear-on-gear transmission in terms of how responsive it is to the wheels. And then the reliability. I mean, this past couple of days was really interesting being able to talk to the race teams and how much value they place in the DCT transmission, and a large part of their successes is through basically not failing on the race course. In order to win the race, you have to finish the race. And DCT has been pivotal in some of those successes. And then the other thing that was really neat about the DCT is just in terms of that engagement when you're out on the trail and all that stuff, is you get that, you can literally feel that that power is being efficiently transferred to the wheels, and you have very minimal power loss as well.
Yep, our entire engine drivetrain, we spend a lot of time, every bearing, every aspect of the entire powertrain. We spend a lot of time making sure that it's robust, it's going to last. We do both a lot of endurance testing, but we also do a lot of like high load kind of instantaneous, like we expect these vehicles to get beat up. So we're constantly looking at that, and we're constantly kind of trying to think, what could the customer put this through? What do we want to protect for?
Cool. And there's a lot of people that are looking for a turbo and all stuff. You guys do have a solution with regards to the turbo, is that you worked in collaboration with Jackson Racing.
Yep.
And they developed the turbo, and I think they were saying something about a 60% increase in horsepower. So I think to the wheels, it's like right now, this delivers a little over 90 horsepower to the wheels. And then when you get the turbo, you're at about 150. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
So we do provide information to Jackson. We wanted to make sure that our customers had an option if they want to be able to install a turbo, and that it was something that would work well with our vehicle. So they're the experts in that system, but we definitely work with them to make sure they have information and what they need to design a good system.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the other thing that's comforting to know is that if someone does opt to get a turbo and they go with Jackson Racing, is that it doesn't mean that your warranty is obviously null and void. Honda backs up their product. Obviously, there's going to be some investigation at the dealer just to sort of narrow down exactly what the problem is, but you rest assured that Honda backs everything up. Just going back to the naturally aspirated motor, it's incredibly responsive in terms of what you guys have done through to the drivetrain. And some of the other things that you've built into the drivetrain in terms of reliability is that you did a new axle as well, right?
Yeah.
Or driveline?
Yes. So our axles were pretty robust before. They're definitely really good, but we have done a couple changes to them. So down in the wheel, we've switched to helical spline. This is something like automotive does it to help torque retention. When you're out driving, you're doing a lot of loading on these wheels. There's a lot of inputs going in, so we just wanted to increase. This is our biggest model. We want to make sure that it's robust, and we have trickled that out throughout the rest of our lineup. So the helical spline is now applied to all the Talons. We've upsized for axle nut, and then on the front final up here, we've also made some changes to the inboard and the sealing on the front final to improve that based on market feedback.
That's cool. And it's really neat how you guys can sort of lean on the automotive group for some best-in-class technologies as well that they've proven out.
Yeah, we have a huge advantage. So we have our automotive division. We also have our two-wheel motorcycle divisions. Across our company, there's just a lot of collaboration. We all love learning new things, and it's great to be able to kind of find out what they've found and share information.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it all goes towards making a better product for the end consumer. Okay, when we're talking about suspension, I mean, obviously it's similar to the two-seat when it comes to the R. The four-seater is also 68 inches wide, and it also features the four-link rear trailing arm design.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the advantages with regards to the four-link system, just to remind sort of our viewers of like the benefits that they get with that design.
Yeah, so it's a four-link. You're getting about 5 inches more of total suspension travel. Really what it's doing is it's controlling your wheel through the entire stroke of the suspension. So as you can imagine, it kind of like goes up and down at an arc, but really that extra link is controlling so that your wheel stays good. It controls camber throughout suspension, controls toe. So it's just really helping to give you a stable ride, even with all the suspension and all kind of the driving styles we expect with these vehicles.
Cool. And you've also done some reinforced gusseting on the suspension as well. Is that mainly on the sort of the front of the suspension, or on the rear as well?
I can highlight it.
On the blue here?
Yep. So on the front of the suspension, we did not just plop the same R-type suspension that we had from previous. We did take a lot of market feedback. We also considered the size and the expectation for what the customer will do with this vehicle. So the A-arms have been increased in strength. There's gusseting along the bottom here, and then overall we have adjusted the geometry of the suspension to kind of give you that maximum handling. We wanted to have a really good turning radius for this vehicle, even though it's a four-seater. So we really focused on making sure we took all our market feedback and the concept of the vehicle to give you the best for the R-type suspension.
Yeah, and I mean, you really get the best of both worlds with regards to the 68 inch. You get that increased stability. You're able to sort of bridge some of those ruts that are notoriously sort of suck a vehicle in when you're on the trail system and all that stuff. But the other advantage is that increased length as well, because this is a little bit longer than the X model as well, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. This one, the wheel is forward in the front and the rear is a little bit back. So you're, I think, 2 inches longer than the X.
On the trail yesterday, there was no problems whatsoever in terms of navigating some of those tight sections. It's a very nimble machine in how it gets around the corners. So the turning radius is definitely a big improvement on the vehicle.
Yep.
And then when it gets to sort of the suspension itself, obviously this is featuring the Fox Live valve, and it's a 2.5 inch diameter body. And some of the advantages obviously with regards to an electronic shock system is that it really takes the guesswork out of tuning that suspension.
Yeah, our handling and stability group, they've done a really great job. So we work with Bosch. Bosch is kind of the brain of the system. Constantly, your vehicle is being monitored for the pitch, the roll, the yaw of the vehicle. And so it's just kind of instantaneously, it's updating for you, it's adjusting. If you ever ride back-to-back, a non-live valve system versus live valve system, you can feel the difference. My 7-year-old can even feel the difference. It's really impressive. We have 2 modes we've set up. There's normal and sport. So both of those have been specifically tuned. Basically, it's taking the inputs from the sensors. It's calculating what your damping forces should be, and they each have their own valve. The sport mode, you're going to get kind of your vehicle sit a little bit higher. It's a little bit stiffer. So like gives you a little bit extra ground clearance if you're out there, and it's just overall it makes it a really comfortable ride. You can go as aggressive as you want, but you're not getting beat up, and it's just always doing kind of what you need it to do in any situation.
The vast majority of the consumers out there sort of get lost when it comes to suspension, because it can be pretty complex by the time you're figuring in high and low speed compression and rebound. And even those individuals that do have a pretty good grasp on it, is that they might be able to sort of get something set up perfectly for one section of the trail, but a couple miles down the trail, it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
And so to basically have a system that's constantly adjusting for you, your ride is optimized the whole time.
Yep.
The other thing that we found as well is that because it also controls sort of the pitch of the vehicle in terms of being able to sort of go into a corner, everything is kept flat and in control. And all stuff. So you just become a far more confident rider as well with regards to these technologies.
Yeah, that was definitely our target, was to kind of give you the best secure feeling, let you go as fast as you want to go, but let you know that the stability is going to be there.
And you have the 2 modes. It's normal and sport mode. And it's essentially with regards to the sport mode, there's just, I'm not quite sure the percentage increase, but it was a noticeable difference in terms of just that damping curve, how it's just sort of amped up, so you get that more control once you get into the sport.
If you think about a non-live valve system, that's kind of what you're getting, right? You're setting your clicker, you're getting a set different rate. Whereas with the live valve, it's constantly changing, it's adapting. So our handling and stability group has worked with Fox, and we've spent a lot of time tuning to try and just make sure that it's going correctly for whatever situation you're in. So it's constantly adapting. It is a tune, so it's kind of what we set it to do for different situations. So but it's not like a set constant rate across the board. It's different situations, it's going to react.
Cool. Well, I mean, all in all, I mean, with the increased travel, because I think in the back now it's 20 plus inches of travel.
Yep.
And the front is 17 inches of travel. When you combine that with the Fox live valve technology, you get a vehicle that handles it incredibly well. Yeah, really, really cool. Okay. So well, let's go on to another section. Why don't we talk a little bit about some of the controls that the vehicle has?
Okay.
When it comes to the new 1000R4 and all stuff, there's some changes that were made in 22 that have been carried forward into the model year 23 year. One of the biggest things that you worked on was with regards to steering. Tell us a little bit about those improvements.
Yeah, so overall our steering system, especially with bringing out this 4P R-Type, we really wanted to make sure we had a robust steering system. Talon's been out since 2019, so we've been collecting a lot of data. We've upsized our steering gearbox and the shafts that connect through, so the splines and all the gearing in that, everything's been increased. It's a lot more robust system. And then in addition to that, we have a new EPS unit. The new EPS unit is highly intelligent. The reaction time on it is just wonderful. It's really improved from previous years. So when you're out there, you're not going to be having the steering wheel jerked away from you. You're going to see response that you want. It's going to keep you in a straight line when you want. So it's a really good package.
And the other thing that you did with regards to steering is you now have a return to center feature with regards to steering. And that makes a huge improvement in terms of how the vehicle handles on the trail.
Yeah, it's a very noticeable difference with this new package.
Okay, and then what are some of the other things here that you guys improved?
Yeah, so looking at kind of the user interface, we've increased the size of our paddle shifters. So in positions, you're going to be able to just reach these easier. We've relocated our meter from the center to the steering wheel, just a lot easier to see what's going on. Additionally, the display is a more clear display. So that was some of the market feedback that we really wanted to make sure we addressed. In moving that, we know everybody accessorizes their vehicle. People put switches on. and we put in a switch panel. This will come stock for this area for switches, and then we also sell an accessory kit for even more if you would like. So just trying to make everything easy, accessible, and make sure that while you're out there driving, enjoying the trails, everything's at your fingertips.
Nice. And when it comes to the transmission, still have your option between automatic and manual. And when in automatic, you can go in sport. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate with regards to the DCT is that you can run automatic all day long and you get very consistent shifts. But you get into any part of the trail or part of the day where you want to sort of just change up the pace or just sort of the attitude of the vehicle, you have that ability to go into manual. And it's pretty cool. It adds a fun factor to the sport and all that stuff, because we all know that there can be some days where it's like a long day and you're maybe in a pack that you're following, and it can sometimes get a little bit monotonous. But to sort of change up the spirit of the ride to be able to go into manual, it's pretty fun. One of the other improvements that you guys have made with regards to sort of just fine tuning is your four-wheel drive, which is the intelligent four-wheel drive. And that basically just really helps monitor traction to the wheels. And so what are some of those improvements that you guys made?
So we actually have a completely different modulator. In 2022, we switched modulators. This one's a lot more capable. We have a much higher reaction time. So I believe we were able to increase our reaction time by about 50%. So it's almost instant now. It's very noticeable. We've also done a lot of tuning and consideration. We know people are putting bigger tires on this. So this system's going to be better for those customers that do increase their tire size. So overall, it's very responsive, and you should be able to handle whatever you throw at it.
And then some of the other features with regards to it, in terms of some of the programming that you guys have done, is that even when you're in low gear, you can actually still be in sport mode.
Yes, so we have added that for low gear. We know people want to be in that, especially when they're doing like heavily technical stuff. We've added so you can have sport mode now in low at all. Like you have kind of high and low. You can have sport or normal at any time. We've also tuned for our throttle input for like trailer loading or backing up. We've made it less jerky.
Okay.
So it's a lot more smoother transition now.
Right.
In those situations where you just want to be moving a little bit, not a lot. So
sure,
we've smoothed that out.
And then some of the other returning features is with regards to your, and I think you refer to this, is it hill assist?
Hill start assist, yeah.
Hill start assist, yeah. So if you're on a steep incline and you're in high or low gear and all stuff, and you go from your brake to your throttle, simply by engaging your hill stop assist, it holds it there for seemingly about 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's obviously not meant to be a parking brake, but it'll hold it there. Basically, you don't have to 2-foot. So it gives you that smooth start. So
cool. And then launch mode. Who doesn't like launch mode?
Yeah, it's just a fun feature.
Yeah, and I think that's the way that people have to sort of appreciate it. It's sort of like because of the technology you guys are using with regards to your driveline and all stuff, it usually allowed you guys to sort of program in a really neat feature. So whether you're with your buddy and you want to sort of drag race, or just think that you're a hero to begin with and have some fun on the trail, it's pretty cool. And the way that it works is with your foot on the brake, engage the button, pull in both your paddle shifters, red line it, and then as soon as you release the paddles, it launches.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling.
Cool. Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about the doors. One of the other big improvements that you made for model year 23 is that they are a full door, and it's a full one-piece door as well, which is pretty significant. And then the technology that's used in making the doors, they're not injection molded, they're blow molded.
That gives us an advantage that we can have a cavity. So here we've added storage for the customer. It's secure. If there's things you don't want in your pack outs, you don't want to dig out, like if you want your rain gear with you, you know it might thunderstorm later, you can have it in this pocket. We've added cup holders. And with the 4P especially, you're getting 4 of these pockets. So you really get a lot of like in-cabin storage for just easily accessible stuff you want on hand. You don't have to hop out of the vehicle or dig through boxes to get. So it's really good for family trail riding. So
one of the things that we talked about yesterday is that beyond this, in terms of standard storage, there's also some storage underneath the driver's seat as well.
Correct.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, underneath the driver's seat, we do have netted storage, so it's not going to pop out and get into your wheel area, but you can put stuff under your seat and it'll stay secure while you're out riding. Yeah,
and you know what? Having full doors that keep all the sort of unwanted elements out makes for a really nice, enjoyable day on the trail, doesn't it?
Yes.
You guys did switch over to Kenda for your tires on the new vehicle, and these are 6-ply rated, so a little bit thicker sidewall just to sort of give you a little bit more assurance on the trail.
Yeah, Kendo is able to match performance. They also have a little bit thicker sidewall, and we're getting a little bit increased front traction with these tires. So overall, it's a really good package. We have a new wheel for 23, styling updates, so you'll maintain performance and get a little bit of improvement.
Okay, Maria, one of the things that we definitely have to talk about when it comes to the Talon is some of the improvements that you guys have made to available accessories. And one of the things that you've done to make it easier for someone to add accessories is with regards to this new bus bar, and then you've also added a ground to the front. So walk us through some of the improvements here.
Yeah, so we know one of the first things everybody does is accessorize their vehicle. Everybody's got kind of their own style of what they want to put on, how they want to customize with lighting or accent lights. So we wanted to make that simpler to do. We did add a front ground to the vehicle up here. That way you're not running all the way back for battery. We have bus bar so you can have power source available. And then we sell extra switch plates. We sell USB kind of charging ports. And really it's compatible with all of our accessories, but also it's flexible. If you have a system that you want to install on your own, you can still get the power here and you can still use that. So want to make sure you can do kind of any combo you want.
We went out on a really cool night ride, and they had the auxiliary lighting off of the roll cage here. You had your light bar. Everyone had a whip light as well, and then this was also sort of powering the GPS as well.
Yes.
And all that was a lot easier to sort of install thanks to the new bus bar. All right, cool. Well, thanks very much for walking around the vehicle with us, Maria. You're a wealth of knowledge and all stuff, and you're a diehard enthusiast, which means a lot.
Yeah, Talon is close to my heart. So.
Yeah, and you made significant improvements to the Talon. The one thing that we've always said is that the 5 letters of Honda are synonymous with quality, and once again, you've sort of it's come true again with this vehicle. So we've had a really cool time spending the last couple days with you. And if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button.
These guys at Trax, they gotta make sure you get to hear what it sounds like, and they always forget. So we gotta get that in there.